Now that we've addressed the lats a little bit, we're going to look at the thoracic spine here. We're going to take you through a few different drills that you can utilize and a little bit of soft tissue mobilizations as well that are going to help you get into that front rack position and maintain it a little bit easier. So a couple of different things that you're going to need here is, this is called a peanut. This is just essentially 2 lacrosse balls or 2 tennis balls taped together. They're pretty cheap. You can get them for $2 or $3 at places like Dick's Sporting Goods or Academy. But you're also going to need a foam roller. Now you can use a PVC pipe, a rolling pin, a Nalgene bottle. They're all options. Some may work better than others. I like the Rumble roller. Specifically, it's got these little treads or knobs on it. And I just find that you can get a little bit better response from that. So the first thing, start with a roller and then move on to the peanut. But you're going to start on the upper back, specifically that thoracic spine area. And we want to stay off of our lower back, especially when we're foam rolling. Ideally, that's designed to be nice and stable. And when you're foam rolling, you're trying to get all those muscle groups to relax and generate a little bit more mobility within each joint. So that's not the best choice for the lumbar spine. So we're going to stay just above the bottom of our rib cage, more on our thoracic spine. Give yourself a big hug. Try to touch the opposite shoulder blade, and then pick your hips up. From here, you're just going to roll up and back down. You'll probably find that there's a little bit of tension in the upper back, especially if you work a computer job or a desk job. That tends to be an area of pretty high neural tension. Roll slow, again, breathe the whole time. Pause, hang out for a little bit. You can also take the hands behind the head, and from here, extend over the roller. Notice my hips are on the ground at this point. I'm going to add an exhale. Just like that. All I'm trying to do with the exhale is make sure my abs stay engaged and I'm not overarched through my low back, just like that. So if you can kind of fit your hand underneath your low back or feel a gap down there, that means you're overextended. So try and keep that low back flat. Just exhale and extend. And then continue rolling. Once you've done that, you can get a little bit more aggressive with the peanut. Either one of these lacrosse balls or tennis balls will go on the muscular portions of either side of your spine. So you never want to feel like your vertebrae is sitting directly on the peanut. It should be just in the middle on either side of the lacrosse ball. From here, it's a little bit less actual rolling. You kind of can take the arm overhead and alternate, taking yourself into shoulder flexion here on both sides. Then move the peanut a little bit to a different segment. Kind of hunt around, see what's really tight, what doesn't feel that great. And as Starrett likes to call it, Kelly Starrett, you kind of just freestyle a little bit. Everybody's different. No two people are alike. So foam roller, then move on to the peanut. And last but not least, find a bench. And I just use this curling attachment, but ideally you would have something like a PVC pipe or a dowel rod. Both of those would work. Start with both elbows on the bench and get your knees underneath your hips. From here, you're actually going to sit your hips back to your heels and drop your head in between your elbows. When you get to the bottom, exhale. And you'll feel a pretty big stretch through the lats as well as the upper back. So one more time. Exhale as I drop my head in between my elbows. The closer my hands get to my spine, the bigger the tricep stretch. So if you can get your training partner or a friend at the gym or something to actually push down on your hands in this position and get them even closer, you'll get a bigger tricep stretch out of this. Now the one thing we want to make sure that we don't do is as we're rocking back, we don't want to really arch hard into this position and kind of really be extended here. You want to make sure this stays nice and neutral, and that's what the exhale is for. The exhale is to kind of cue the abs to stay engaged. So as you rock back, exhale. And once you get good at this drill, you can ditch the PVC pipe, ditch the dowel rod, and go one arm at a time. So put one hand on the floor, other arm on the bench, and then as you rock back, you're actually going to use this hand and push into the floor to kind of sit over to that hip. So what we're doing here is we're laterally flexing the spine and we're opening up that lat a little bit more, just like we did with the rack lat stretch in the other video. Similar concept. Here, push into the floor with the hand, sit into the hip, and open up that lat a little bit more. So again, start with the soft tissue, then work your way into specific joint mobilizations.